Hello, friends. I'm Miss Katie, a youth services librarian at Skokie Public Library. I'm excited to see you again for another math party. Today, we're talking all about number sense. You may be thinking, what on earth does number sense mean? According to the Erickson Institute, number sense is the ability to understand the quantity of a set and the name associated with that quantity. For instance, we can think of our hand as a set of five. We have 5 fingers that we often use to count objects or figure out number problems. So let's count our fingers together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great job. We know that one hand is always going to be 5, and 2 hands will be 10. From there, we can add more or take some away. A strong understanding of number sense in the early years is the key to success with math in preschool and beyond. It helps us count in quantities, understand the idea of more and less, and gives us the ability to estimate quantities and measurements. As we always do, I'd like to share a story with you today. This is a Chinese folktale called Two of Everything, retold and illustrated by Lily Toy Hong. I am reading this with permission from the publisher, Albert Whitman and Company. This book was published in 1993. Two of Everything, a Chinese folktale, retold and illustrated by Lily Toy Hong. Once, long ago, in a humble little hut, lived Mr. Hawktalk and his wife, Mrs. Hawktalk. They were old and very poor. What little they ate came from their tiny garden. And here you can see their tiny little garden right here, right next to their tiny little house. In a lucky year, when the harvest was plentiful, Mr. Hawktalk had a little extra to take to the village. There, he traded turnips, potatoes, and other vegetables for clothing, lamp oil, and fresh seeds. You see all the stuff that they're selling at the market here. They have it in baskets and in jars back here. One spring morning, when Mr. Hawktalk was digging in his garden, his shovel struck something hard. Puzzled, he dug deeper into the dark ground until he came upon an ancient pot made of brass. "How odd," said Mr. Hawktalk to himself, "to think that I have been digging here all these years and never came upon this pot before. I will take it home. Maybe Mrs. Hawktalk can find some use for it." The pot was big and heavy for old Mr. Hawktalk. As he stumbled along, his purse, which contained his last 5 gold coins, fell to the ground. He tossed it into the pot for safekeeping and staggered home. His wife greeted him at the door. "Dear husband, what a strange pot." Mr. Hawktalk explained how he found the pot. "I wonder what we can do with it," said Mrs. Hawktalk. "It looks too large to cook in and too small to bathe in." I wonder what they'll use it for. As Mrs. Hawk leaned over to peer into the pot, her hairpin, the only one she owned, fell in. A hairpin is something that holds your hair back. She felt around in the pot and suddenly her eyes grew round with surprise. "Look," she shouted, "I've pulled out 2 hairpins, exactly alike, and 2 purses, too." Sure enough, the purses were identical, and so were the hairpins. Inside each purse were 5 gold coins. Mr. Hawk was so excited he jumped up and down. "Let's put my winter coat inside the pot. If we are lucky again, the pot will make 2 coats, and then we will both stay warm." So into the pot went 1 coat, and out came 2 coats. They began to search the house and quickly put more things into the magical pot. "If only we had some meat," wished Mr. Hawk, "or fresh fruit, or 1 delicious sweet cake." So here they are. They're looking through their house to see if they can find some other things that would be great to have 2 of. Mr. Hawk smiled. "I know how we can get anything we want," she said. She put their 10 coins into 1 purse, then threw it into the pot. She pulled out 2 purses with 10 coins in each. "What a clever wife I have," cried Mr. Hawk. "Each time we do this, we will have twice as much money as before." The Hawks worked late into the night, filling and emptying the pot until the floor was covered in coins. You see that they're sleeping, and they have all the coins just surrounding them on the floor. Morning came, and off went Mr. Hawk with a long list of things to buy in the village. Instead of vegetables, his basket was full of gold coins. Mrs. Hawk finished all of her chores and sat down to enjoy a cup of tea. She sipped her tea and admired the brass pot. Then, with a grateful heart, she knelt and embraced it. "Dear pot, I do not know where you came from, but you are my best friend." She stooped over the pot to look inside. I wonder what she sees. At that very moment, Mr. Hawk returned. His arms were so full of packages that he had to kick the door open. Bang! Mrs. Hawk was so startled that she lost her balance and fell head first into the pot. Oh no! Mr. Hawk ran over. He grabbed his wife's legs. He pulled and tugged until she slid out onto the floor. But when he looked at the pot again, he gasped. 2 more legs were sticking straight out of it. Naturally, he took hold of the ankles and pulled. Out came a second person. She looked exactly like his wife. So there's Mrs. Hawk, and then do you see those 2 identical legs are the other Mrs. Hawk. The new Mrs. Hawk sat silently on the floor, looking lost. But the first Mrs. Hawk cried, "I am your one and only wife. Put that woman back into the pot right now." Mr. Hawk yelled, "No! If I put her back in the pot, we will not have 2 women, but 3. One wife is enough for me." He backed away from his angry wife and tripped and fell head first into the pot himself. Oh no, look, there he goes. What do you think's gonna happen? Do you think there might be a second Mr. Hawk 2? Let's see. Both Mrs. Hawks rushed to rescue him. Each grasped an ankle, and together they pulled him out. There were 2 more legs in the pot, so they pulled out the other Mr. Hawk too. Oh boy. So there's Mr. Hawk, and then there is the second Mr. Hawk. Just what use does one Mr. Hawk have for another? Mr. Hawk cried angrily. This pot is not as wonderful as we thought it to be. Now even our troubles are beginning to double. But his wife had been thinking while he was yelling. "Calm down," she said. "It's good that the other Mrs. Hawk has her own Mr. Hawk. Perhaps we will become best of friends. After all, we are so alike. He will be a brother to you, and she a sister to me. With our pot, we can make 2 of everything, so there will be plenty to go around." And that is what they did. The Hawks built 2 fine new homes. Each house had identical teapots, rice bowls, silk embroideries, and bamboo furniture. From the outside, the houses looked exactly alike, but there was one difference. Hidden in one house was a big brass pot. Of course, the Hawks were always very careful not to fall into it again. The new Hawks and the old Hawks did become good friends. The neighbors thought that the Hawks had grown so rich that they decided to have 2 of everything, even themselves. That is 2 of Everything, retold and illustrated by Lily Toy Hong. I hope you enjoyed 2 of Everything. That has always been one of my favorite folk tales. Today I'm going to teach you a few finger plays that are fun to do and great for working on our math skills. The first finger play is called Beehive. This is a beehive. Where are the bees? Hidden away where nobody sees. Now they come creeping out of the hive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bees. Bzzz. The next finger play is called 5 Little Squirrels. 5 little squirrels sat up in a tree. The first squirrel said, "Well, what do I see?" The second squirrel said, "I see a dog." The third squirrel said, "I see a frog." The fourth squirrel said, "Let's run into the shade." The fifth squirrel said, "I'm not afraid." Then, woof, went the dog, and away the squirrels ran. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our last finger play is called 10 Little Raindrops. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little raindrops, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little raindrops, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little raindrops, 10 little raindrops falling down. Falling, falling, falling raindrops, falling, falling, falling raindrops, falling, falling, falling raindrops. Pitter, 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 splash. Thanks for joining me today. I always love spending time with you. I will be back soon with a new video where we'll talk all about operations. Take care, everyone. Bye.